Still skinny after months of training? There's usually one specific reason, not genetics, not bad luck. And it's probably not what you think. Today I'm going to walk through exactly what's actually happening, why it's so easy to miss, and exactly how to fix it, for real this time. You've been showing up, lifting 3-4 times a week, for months. Maybe you've even bought a program, watched the tutorials, tracked your workouts in an app, and the mirror looks the same. Same arms, same chest, same number on the scale. That's not bad luck. It means one specific thing in your routine is quietly broken. And until you find it and fix it, you can train for another year and land in the exact same place you're standing right now. Sound familiar? Yeah, I've been there. Here's the thing nobody tells you. Showing up isn't the hard part. Showing up is actually the easy part comparatively. The hard part is making sure what you're doing once you're there actually adds up to growth. And there are 5 specific gaps, not vague ones, specific ones, that quietly cancel out months of effort. Let's go through them one at a time. Reason number 1, and it's the biggest one by far, you're not eating enough. Not maybe, almost certainly. Most people who say, I eat a lot, are actually eating just enough to maintain their current weight, not build new muscle. And here's why that happens so easily. Your body is incredibly good at balancing itself. If you eat a little more some days, you're often slightly less hungry the next, and it evens out right back to maintenance without you noticing. Building muscle takes raw material. If you're not in a caloric surplus of at least 300 to 500 calories a day above what your body burns, there's nothing extra for it to build with. No surplus, no growth. It genuinely doesn't matter how hard you trained that day, or how much you wanted it to work. Here's what that actually looks like in practice. If you're eating around 2,200 calories a day and your weight hasn't moved in a month, that 2,200 is your maintenance number, whether it feels like a lot of food or not. You need to be eating 2,500 to 2,700 consistently for your body to have anything to build with. Track it for 3 honest days if you don't believe me. No guessing, actually weigh and log it. Most people are genuinely shocked by the gap between what they think they eat and what they actually eat. Here's a simple way to close that gap without overthinking it. 2 extra tablespoons of peanut butter and a cup of rice on top of what you already eat covers most of that surplus for a lot of guys. It's smaller than it sounds. Consistency is the hard part here, not the quantity. Reason number 2, you're not progressively overloading. If you're lifting the same weight for the same reps week after week, your body has zero reason to change. Think about it from your body's perspective. Muscle is expensive to maintain. Your body will only build more of it if you consistently force it to adapt to something harder than what it's used to. Every 1 to 2 weeks, you should be adding weight, adding a rep, or adding a set somewhere in your program. If your training log looks identical to 4 weeks ago, same weights, same reps, same everything, that's your answer right there. I've seen guys bench the same 135 pounds for 6 months straight and wonder why their chest never grew an inch. It's not a mystery, and it's not bad genetics. There was simply no reason for their body to change because nothing about the stimulus ever changed either. Wait, that's actually me. Reason number 3, recovery. Your muscles don't actually grow in the gym. Training just creates the stimulus. The actual growth happens afterward while you rest, and especially while you sleep. Under 7 hours of sleep, consistently, and your body simply can't repair and build tissue efficiently, no matter how good or how hard the workout was. This is the one people skip constantly, because it doesn't feel productive the way another set does. Nobody posts their sleep schedule on social media, but skipping it quietly undoes a huge chunk of your training. It isn't optional. 7 to 9 hours is the real target, and it matters just as much as the food and the lifting, maybe more, because it's the piece that actually turns the other 2 into results. Reason number 4, you're doing a lot of movement and not enough actual lifting. Long cardio sessions, endless light machine circuits, 20 different exercises for the same muscle group at low weight. All of that feels productive. It feels like work. You leave sweaty and tired. But feeling tired isn't the same as giving your muscles a reason to grow. 3 to 5 heavy compound lifts, squat, deadlift, bench press, row, overhead press, done with real intensity, close to your limit, do more for your frame in 30 minutes than an hour of scattered light movement ever will. A lot of guys avoid the heavy compound lifts because they're intimidating, or because they've heard they're dangerous. Done with reasonable form and a sensible starting weight, they're not. They're just the most efficient tool you have, and skipping them is like showing up to build a house with everything except the hammer. And reason number 5, you keep switching programs before giving any single one time to actually work. 2 weeks on one plan, 3 weeks on the next, chasing whatever looked good online this month. Muscle growth needs weeks, realistically 6 to 8 minimum, of consistent stimulus before it reliably shows up in the mirror or on the scale. If you're never on the same program long enough to progressively overload it properly, you're resetting your progress every single time you switch, and starting the adaptation clock over from zero. The best program isn't the fanciest one, it's the one you actually stay on. Now, I already know what some of you are thinking, so let's deal with it directly. I don't have time to eat that much or track anything. You don't need a spreadsheet. 3 days of honest logging, once, tells you everything you need to know about where you actually stand. After that, it's mostly instinct. I already tried eating more and nothing happened. Almost always, eating more meant eating a little more for a few days, not a genuine 300 to 500 calorie surplus held consistently for weeks. A single bigger meal isn't a surplus, a pattern is. Maybe it's just genetics. Genetics affects your ceiling and your pace, how fast you build muscle, how it's distributed. It does not affect whether these 5 basic mechanisms apply to you. Every single person who's ever built noticeable muscle did it through some version of these 5 things, whether they knew it or not. But I don't want to get fat while I'm doing this. A surplus of 300 to 500 calories is small enough that most of it goes toward muscle if your training is dialed in. You're not eating like it's a bulking video from 2015. Some fat gain is normal and expected. It's also easily managed afterward. Staying skinny forever because you're afraid of temporary fat gain is how you stay skinny forever, period. So here's the actual fix. 5 things, starting this week. Not next month, not after the holidays, this week. 1. Track your food for 3 honest days, then add 300 to 500 calories on top of what you're already eating, and hold that for at least 3 to 4 weeks before judging the result. 2. Pick 5 compound lifts and write down the weight you use every single session, in your phone, on paper, anywhere you'll actually see it. If the number isn't moving up every 1 to 2 weeks, that's your signal to push harder, not to switch exercises. 3. Get 7 hours of sleep minimum tonight, not starting Monday, tonight. 4. Cut your exercise list down. 3 to 5 heavy compound lifts, done properly, beats 15 scattered accessory movements every single time. 5. Pick one program and commit to it for at least 8 weeks before you touch a single thing about it. That's it. Not complicated, not secret, not something you need to buy a course to understand. Screenshot that list if you need to. 5 things, done consistently, for long enough to actually matter. I know what months of no visible progress feels like. Like the work simply isn't working, no matter what you try. But in almost every case, the work was never actually the problem. It was one or several of these 5 things, quietly running in the background and canceling it out. Fix the actual cause, give it real time, and the training you're already doing finally starts paying off the way it should have from the beginning. If you're committing any of these 5 right now, let me know in the comments. I might make a full breakdown on whichever one hits the most people. And if you want the 5 most common versions of this exact mistake broken down individually, I've got that in the next video. Go watch that one next. And if this helped, hit subscribe. I break down stuff like this every week, no fluff as usual. Catch you next time.